Good morning, everyone. Nice to see you this morning. Happy 4th of July. I hope everyone had a safe holiday and everybody still has all their fingers. Glad to see. My name is Tanya Romine, and I am your worship associate today. I am a member of this congregation. On behalf of the Reverend Dave Dunn, today's speaker, Kevin McCullough, our intern minister, Liz Martin, director of religious exploration, Lexi T. Brown, and our music director, Alex Peach, and today's accompanist, Meredith McCaskey. And the greeters, the technical team that are making today's live stream possible, I would like to welcome you to the Unitarian Universalist Church, Metro Atlanta North, which we lovingly call UUMAN. UUMAN is a liberal faith community with the mission to nurture our spirit, strive for justice, and to transform the world, no matter who you are, whom you love, or where you are on your spiritual journey. All are welcome here. Welcome to all that are joining us remotely. We're always happy to have you. For any visitors who are here with us for the first time, if you feel comfortable and would like to share your name and where you're from so we can get to know you a little better, we would really like that. Do I have any visitors on my left?
Hello, I'm John.
You can stand up, it's okay.
I'm John.
Hey, John. Nice to have you. Wonderful. We're very happy to have you. Hey, Connie. I love retirement. Let me say, it is fabulous. Do I have any visitors on my right? Well, thank you for all that are here today. We joyfully welcome children and families in worship. The sounds of our children are a part of a living congregation. For busy hands of all ages, we have a fidget corner in this back corner. So if anyone would like to go fidget, you're more than welcome to join the corner. After the Wandering Time story, children will be sung out to the Children's Chapel in Fellowship Hall. There is no chapel today. Okay, thank you. Thank you. For announcements today, please plan to join Outdoor Humans for an inaugural outing this Saturday. Our first adventure is 1.5 hours, family-friendly hiking at Vickery Creek Park Trail in Roswell. Afterwards, we will lunch together at Moxie Burger. You can see the UUMAN calendar entry on July the 11th, and you can sign up there and get more information. There's a change in second hour programming today. Faith After Doubt will not meet and will return next month. Now our favorite part, let's all greet each other with a hand of friendship.
Good morning. Our opening words are from A. Powell Davies, who was the senior minister of All Souls Church Unitarian in Washington, D.C. from 1944 to 1957. The American commitment is to universal justice, the rights of all people, not the special interests of some. It is a commitment to fair play, to patience, to tolerance, to neighborliness. It is a commitment to the common good. It protects liberty with unity, the opportunity of each with the good of all. It is compassionate, humanitarian. It believes in humanity and in its future. It is based upon the claim of conscience and the faith in goodness. It begins not in a system, but within the heart. If anyone tells me that these characteristics are more than American, that they are universal, I will reply that that is why they are American. Because this nation was not founded on the divisive and the separate, but upon the rights of all people. Can we restore these standards? Can we seek again the touch of greatness? The future will depend upon the answer, upon what takes place in heart and conscience. A nation, like an individual, must have a soul. And now let us light our chalice together.
As we gather in this community of hope, we kindle this chalice. We light this flame not because our nation is perfect, but because love calls us to help it become more just, more compassionate, and more welcoming. Love asks us to celebrate what is good, to speak honestly about what we can do better, and to work with courage for the common good. May the small flame remind us that lasting change begins with hearts willing to listen, hands willing to serve, and spirits willing to believe that together we can help shape a brighter future. May its light inspire us to love not only America, but all who call it home. And if you are willing and able, if you would rise and sing hymn number 119, Once to Every Soul and Nation. We might have a little glitch. Do we have a story time this morning? Okay, just wanted to make sure. Okay, at this point in our service, we share our joys with each other to magnify them and our sorrows to divide the weight of their pain. If you are so moved, please feel free to come forward to the microphone and you can state your name and express the joy or sorrow you may have. You can put a pebble in the bowl. For those of you attending via our live stream, if you have a joy or a sorrow, if you would please type it in the chat, we will read it aloud for you. Thank you.
Hi, I'm Valerie Bayless, a member of this congregation. I was supposed to be worship associate for Steve Allerton last week, and we had planned it for a year. But I woke up not feeling well and still powered through, but I walked in last week and Lori Wheeler said, "You do not look good." So thank you to Lori for fanning me. Thank you to Tanya for stepping in as worship associate. Thank you to Sarah Hunter, who immediately drove me home. Thank you to Ann Bender, who brought me back here on Tuesday to pick up my car, and to Donna Melcher for reaching out and asking if I was okay. I'm not used to not feeling well and then having 4 people send me emails by the time I even got home to say, "Are you all right?" And I was explaining that to Ann, and Ann said, "Well, that's who we are, and that's the kind of community that you're a part of now, so get used to it." Thank you to all of you.
Hello, I'm Amy Tyndall, a member of this community. On the 3rd of this month was Ben and my 10-year wedding anniversary. But there's actually the anniversary of our first date. So we have been together for 19 years. Yeah, so just want to express joy for someone so wonderful being in my life for so long.
Hi, I'm Steve Allerton. I'm going to drop a pebble of gratitude for everybody that helped out with the service last week, planned and unplanned. But I really want to give my thanks to Valerie, who I'm very happy to see here today. She was responsible for me delivering that sermon. She asked me last 24th of August, I remember the day. She said, "Why don't you give a sermon?" So if you have had any problems with seeing me in the pulpit, you know who's ring the bell. Bell to ring.
I'm Mark Soule. As usual, I was out shopping with Jane, and out of the blue came up, and now I'm going to forget her name, Elizabeth Norris. Ran into Elizabeth Norris, married to Michael Telford and little Albie. Got to chatting, and I'm thinking we may have convinced her to come back to church. They had a real scare with Albie, who had to have a heart transplant over the last year, so that kind of took up their time.
Hi, I'm Richard Bomba, a member, and do you hear me? Okay, good. First off, I have 2 things, and of course it's all about music because that's what I am. And so a couple of weekends ago, I got to play in a string trio at the Atlanta Botanical Gardens Summer Garden Party. And it has been 35 years since I was asked to professionally perform for an event as prestigious as that. So I was thrilled to play. And the other thing is, I think I mentioned before, I joined the Michael O'Neill Singers, and I'm shamelessly promoting the concert in which I will be singing a high B flat A for the first time in my life, please, on on July the 26th at 3 o'clock at Roswell United Methodist Church of Thee We Sing. And it's like a great concert, 150 voice choir, full pipe organ, double pianos, full orchestra. So I will be temporarily in heaven that day while I'm singing, because I've never had that experience, ever. I've played in symphony orchestras my whole life, but I've never sung with that kind of accompaniment before. So I'm like a little bit excited.
My name is Bob Pop. I have two pebbles today. The first one is that Rosie and I celebrated our 43rd wedding anniversary. She got to celebrate it at my Pop family reunion. Very romantic. Yeah, and I can't believe she's stuck with me for 43 years with stuff like that. So that's the joy. The sadness is that, the sorrow is that the gentleman, friend of ours, who really brought us together as a mutual friend. We went to all his great parties back in the 80s, 70s, 80s, I guess, yeah, 80s. And he passed away a couple months ago, but we went to his memorial service. Without that connection, we would never have met. And he brought us together. So it was with sadness that we went to his memorial service recently. So anyways, joy and sorrow.
And I will drop one final pebble for those joys or sorrows that are too tender to escape the folds of our hearts. Keep everyone in your hearts this week as we carry on.
If anybody feels like singing along, go right ahead.
1, 2, 3, 4.
I was standing by my window on a cold and cloudy day when I saw that hearse come rolling for to carry my mother away. I would circle the unbroken by and by, Lord, by and by. There's a better home awaiting in the sky, Lord, in the sky.
Somewhere maybe when this life is over, I'll fly away to one on God's celestial shore. I'll fly away. I'll fly away over glory and highway. When I die, hallelujah, by and by, I'll fly away.
Lord, I told that undertaker, undertaker, please drive slow. For this body that you are hauling, Lord, I hate to see her go. Will the circle be unbroken by and by, Lord, by and by? There's a better home awaiting in the sky, Lord, in the sky.
When the shadows of this life
It's been clear for a while now that America's celebration of the 250th anniversary of our Declaration of Independence was going to be a bust. Our country is deeply divided. The administration in charge is not interested in drawing us together, and I don't think anyone's in much of a mood to party. But I felt it would be a shame for our congregation to let this anniversary pass without comment. So when Valerie was drawing up the schedule of this summer's lay services, I went ahead and asked for the pulpit this weekend. I'm going to speak in favor of patriotism and make an argument that no matter how low we may currently feel, it is still necessary. What I'm not going to do is try to explain how we came to be in our current mess or make any claims about the best way forward. You can find plenty of that kind of punditry on your own. But specifically, I'm not here to take anyone to task for failing to show enough national pride. Our country's problems are far too deep to be laid at the feet of misplaced sentiment, and I do not think that all will be well if we simply wrap ourselves in the flag. Our democracy is badly injured, and it will take us a long time to rebuild an America that comes even close to living up to its ideals. We have a lot of work ahead of us. My argument is simply that I think a renewed liberal patriotism, one that believes that America can be a force for good in the world, and one that is optimistic about our ability to work together to solve our problems, would help. But if you're just not feeling it, that's okay too. I get it. Many of you know that I grew up Unitarian Universalist here in Atlanta, and that as a teenager I was part of a high school youth group similar to the one we have here at UUMAN. What you probably don't know, since I don't think it's ever come up, is that I also had quite a busy career as a Boy Scout. I started as a Cub Scout in 3rd grade for the same reason that most kids become Cub Scouts, which is that once a week I got to wear my Cub Scout uniform to school all day so that I was properly dressed for my after-school pack meeting. For 8-year-olds in the early 80s, this was pretty much the coolest thing imaginable. When I reached middle school, I moved on to our local Boy Scout troop, Troop 370, which met in the recreation hall behind St. James United Methodist Church on Peachtree Dunwoody Road. We met once a week for uniform inspection and announcements. We practiced our knots and planned menus for our camping trips. We went camping about once a month and always stuck to our schedule regardless of the weather. Longer scout camps became a regular part of my summer. A week each year at Burt Adams Scout Camp in Covington, 2 National Boy Scout Jamborees at Fort A.P. Hill in Virginia, and most exciting of all, a World Boy Scout Jamboree in Australia, which included a stopover in New Zealand and a chance to tour Sydney and Melbourne before settling in for 10 days of camping with Boy Scouts and Girl Guides from all over the world. Our Atlanta area troop was assigned a campsite between troops from Germany and South Korea. I met a thoughtful scoutmaster from Zimbabwe who explained how his country was struggling with its newfound independence. I met a friendly scout from Italy and had a brief conversation with him in the only language we had in common, atrocious grade school French. I traded one of my American Jamboree patches for a commemorative patch from Ireland that featured a koala bear clinging to the edge of a Celtic harp. I took that trip to Australia when I was 15. And in the months leading up to it, I scrambled to complete a service project so that I could attend the Jamboree as an Eagle Scout. That might have been the capstone to my time as a Scout if I had not been drawn into the Order of the Arrow. If you're not familiar with it, the Order of the Arrow is an honor society for older Scouts who are deemed by their peers to exemplify Scouting's values. Its motto is cheerful service. Its members are organized into lodges and chapters that meet separately from normal troops. I belong to the Echota chapter of the Egwatawa D Lodge. We met once a month at Peachtree Road United Methodist Church in Buckhead. Since I had a talent for newsletters, I was elected secretary, and when I attended a National Order of the Arrow conference at Colorado State University the summer after my sophomore year, I helped to produce a daily paper using the facilities of the campus newspaper. Now, you may think that Boy Scouts and UU youth programs would have nothing in common, but my experience in the Order of the Arrow was actually similar to my experience in a UU youth group in one important respect, which is that we were mostly trusted to run things ourselves. Younger Scouts need adults to supervise them, but my peers in the Order of the Arrow were all in high school. Lots of us could drive. We programmed our own meetings, organized our own service projects, and planned our own weekend retreats. Growing up as both a Scout and a Unitarian Universalist exposed me to two different moral frames, both of which I think of as fundamentally decent approaches to life. My UU youth group encouraged a set of foundational liberal values: enjoy your freedom, be creative, help other people, be responsible. My scouting experience encouraged a set of foundational small c conservative values: respect your elders, learn the protocols, cultivate a good moral character, be responsible. I say small c conservative because even in the Reaganite 80s, scouting was explicitly non-political. I may have been among a minority of scouts whose parents voted for Democrats, and I may have had to sit through Lee Greenwood's God Bless the USA more times than you can roll your eyes at, but I was far from alone in having liberal politics, and I never got any serious grief for it. My biggest concern really was whether my agnosticism bordering on atheism would be an issue for my Eagle Scout Review Board. The UU Church was actually a big help here. I had earned the UUA's Religion and Life recognition for Boy Scouts, which gave me some cover. I might have belonged to a weird church, but at least I belonged to a church. I finally left scouting behind when I went to college. I went to a Quaker liberal arts school, then worked for a feminist nonprofit in California. I boned up on leftist social theory, listened to a lot of artsy punk rock, and immersed myself in the radical self-expression culture of Burning Man. I became active in the UU Young Adult and Campus Ministry movement. I didn't talk much about being an Eagle Scout when I ran in those circles. But from time to time, I think about the secular catechisms I learned as a Scout, particularly the Scout Law, which is a list of 12 virtues Scouts are meant to aspire to. The Scout is trustworthy, loyal, helpful, friendly, courteous, kind, obedient, cheerful, thrifty, brave, clean, and reverent. It seemed to me that the liberal ideal of a good person sometimes boiled down to someone who held the right political opinions, not someone who exhibited good character. I worried that perhaps the left was missing something important. The scouting virtue most relevant to patriotism is loyalty. Loyalty is one of those virtues that liberals are sometimes wary of, since it seems to suggest that you should put your friends or your tribe above the common good. But it's also a fundamental human instinct. In fact, the evolutionary theorist Jonathan Haidt has proposed that it's one of the innate foundations of human morality. He writes, "The loyalty foundation evolved in response to the adaptive challenge of forming and maintaining coalitions. It makes us sensitive to signs that another person is, or is not, a team player. It makes us trust and reward such people, and it makes us want to hurt, ostracize, or even kill those who betray us or our group." He then goes on to observe that Republicans since Nixon have had a near monopoly on appeals to loyalty, particularly patriotism and military values. I suppose this is the core of my liberal case for optimism, or for patriotism rather, which is that loyalty is too valuable a human sentiment to dismiss as unimportant or cede to the other side. By downplaying patriotism, the left is leaving moral cash on the table, as it were. And we should think long and hard before engaging in displays of disloyalty, such as burning flags or refusing to stand for the national anthem, because such displays are far more likely to alienate and offend than to persuade. It's telling that Haidt talks about Republicans since Nixon, since the modern left's discomfort with patriotism is a direct result of the Vietnam War. One of the many unfortunate dynamics of that conflict was that the American flag became a symbol of whether or not you supported America's actions in Southeast Asia. Before the war, it was much more common for American leftists to praise America in terms such as those used by A. Powell Davies in the reading I shared earlier. But after the war, this kind of idealism became more difficult for us, because we now had to balance our feelings of pride and loyalty with another foundational human emotion: shame. This dilemma is the subject of the pragmatist philosopher Richard Rorty's short but powerful book, Achieving Our Country. The book collects a series of lectures Rorty delivered in 1997, when he was nearing the end of his career. But like a lot of liberals, I read it when it was making the rounds in the wake of John Kerry's disastrous 2004 electoral loss to George W. Bush. It's the kind of book that liberals reach for when we're trying to figure out what we're doing wrong. The first paragraph of the book is powerful, and it's worth quoting in full. Rorty writes, "National pride is to countries what self-respect is to individuals, a necessary condition for self-improvement. Too much national pride can produce bellicosity and imperialism, just as excessive self-respect can produce arrogance. But just as too little self-respect makes it difficult for a person to display moral courage, so insufficient national pride makes energetic and effective debate about national policy unlikely. Emotional involvement with one's country, feelings of intense shame or glowing pride aroused by various parts of its history and by various present-day national policies, is necessary if political deliberation is to be imaginative and productive. Such deliberation will probably not occur unless pride outweighs shame." There are a couple of things to notice here. The first is that Rorty doesn't speak of patriotism as an unalloyed good that we can never have too much of. Instead, he argues for a balance. Not too much, because that leads to jingoism and chauvinism, but not too little either, because that leads to cynicism and despair. The second is that he validates our feelings of shame. There are many things in America's past and present to be ashamed of. It's okay to feel that way. It's important to document these things, to call people's attention to them, to remember them. But it's also important to feel pride, not only in what we've accomplished, but in what we can still achieve. It's better still, perhaps even necessary, that our feelings of pride outweigh our sense of shame. How are we to cultivate this sense of pride? I was tempted to fill this sermon with a list of things that make me proud of America. It would be a long list. But my list of shameful incidents would be long too. In fact, both ledgers would be inexhaustible. We can always find new entries for either column. The truth is that there's simply no objective way to answer the question of whether our country is more good than bad or more bad than good. As Rorty writes, "Nobody knows what it would be like to try to be objective when attempting to decide what one's country really is, what its history really means, any more than when answering the question of who one really is oneself, what one's individual past really adds up to. We raise questions about our individual or national identity as part of the process of deciding what we will do next, what we will try to become. There's a tendency on the left to see our national shame not as a set of experiences to learn from, but as a catalog of sins from which we can never be redeemed. For a small example of this way of thinking, we might once again consider the Boy Scouts. Scouting was founded in England in 1908 by Lieutenant General Robert Stevenson Smith Baden-Powell, a British Army officer and veteran of the Second Boer War in South Africa, whose manuals on military reconnaissance had proved popular among teachers and youth organizations. So, to a certain extent, it was an imperialist exercise at the start, an attempt to instill in young British men the discipline and character necessary for ruling an empire. And I think to some that fact alone is unforgivable. If you are inclined to believe that something's fundamental character is stamped into it from the beginning, you will look at Scouting's origins and decide that the entire enterprise is suspect. But the Scouts evolved as they spread around the world. In America, for example, Scouting quickly absorbed the values of the emerging summer camp movement, a largely wholesome effort to get children outdoors and teach them respect for the natural world. In the 1950s, American Scouts adopted the Outdoor Code. As an American, I will do my best to be clean in my outdoor manners, be careful with fire, be considerate in the outdoors, and be conservation-minded. American children need a message like this and a chance to get some fresh air now more than ever. Whatever you think about Scouting's military trappings, the uniforms, the ranks, the use of terms like troop and patrol, it aspires to a set of high ideals. I'm sure that every Scouting program in the world encourages patriotism and that Scouts all over the world sing their own national anthems and pledge allegiance to their own flags. But they also gather every 4 years for a World Jamboree. It was deeply moving for me to attend an event with Scouts from all corners of the world, because it showed the ease with which one can move between pride in one's own country and a genuine spirit of friendship among nations. At the end of the day, we must choose the stories about our nation that we want to tell. I suggest we tell stories that demonstrate our loyalty to our fellow citizens and engender hope in ourselves. As Rorty writes, stories about what a nation has been and should try to be are not attempts at accurate representation, but rather attempts to forge a moral identity. Now more than ever, the moral identity of our country is up for grabs. Let's work together to create an America we can truly be proud of.
Thank you, Kevin. That was great. In an effort to fulfill and further the vision and mission of this congregation, we ask that our members and friends share of their time, talent, and treasures. And with this, we will now take the offering. You may also use the Give Now option in the Breeze app or in the browser. Our 50/50 partner this month is NFCC, North Fulton Community Charities Back to School project. Any donations designated for 50/50 will go to support their work. Now for our closing hymn, if you can please rise as you're willing and able to sing hymn number 159, This Is My Song.
This
Now we're going to stop the smoking from the chalice. Yes, if everyone would join me in telling it that we're extinguishing it. We extinguish this flame, but not the light of truth, the warmth of community, or the fire of commitment. These we carry in our hearts until we are together again.
We close today with an excerpt from Leaves of Grass by Walt Whitman. Long, too long America, traveling roads all even and peaceful, you learned from joys and prosperity only. But now, now, to learn from cries of anguish, advancing, grappling with direst fate, and recoiling not. And now to conceive and show to the world what your children en masse really are. For who, except myself, has yet conceived what your children en masse really are? Go in peace and enjoy your week.